encourage you not to be tired and have a wonderful discussion with our students. So welcome to the Student Board Roundtable Talk, Success Stories within UGLOH session. My name is Anita Kéri, and among my many teaching and research duties, I'm also responsible for communications here at UGLOH. But because of my other role as an academic, I'm here as an academic chair for the talk, so good to see you again. And here with me today, hosting the roundtable, is Ace Pagkaliwangan. Hi, Ace.
Hi, Anita.
Ace is a dedicated member of the local student board and Work Package 8 student representative. So welcome once again.
Thank you, Anita. And hi, everyone. And a warm welcome to this vibrant and yet intimate gathering. I'm Ace Pagkaliwangan, a bachelor student in physiotherapy at the University of Szeged. As a dedicated member of the local board student and the Work Package 8 and 5 student representative, I'm thrilled to be your guide today as we navigate through our shared experiences. And in my role as a social media moderator for the UGLOH University of Szeged, I've seen firsthand and experienced the power of collective voices. Now, as the student chair of this talk, I'm eager to hear your stories and insights. So without further delay, let us introduce the participants of the roundtable discussion. First up, we have Afiqah, Izzati, Sundusin from the University of Szeged. Please come up here on the stage.
Next in line is Andrea van der Loos from University of Paris-Saclay.
Another one, we have Julia Tafelmaier from Ludwig Maximilian Universität München.
Next in line, João Rocha Gomes from University of Porto.
And last but not the least, we have André Bembennek from the University of Hamburg.
Okay, so let's take a seat, Ace.
Okay, so let's embark on this journey together. But before we dive into our discussion, we would love to get to know more about you, our audiences as well. So we prepared a Menti survey in which you're gonna see, like above. Please use the QR code to get started. Okay, once you have scanned it, you're gonna see the questions. And now, together, let's make this roundtable talk not just a memorable one, but a transformative too.
Yeah, so we are very excited of what you have to say, and very excited to see you up here because obviously all of these are success stories that we are going to talk about. And this roundtable discussion will have two aspects, one of which is a more personal aspect regarding motivations and personal aspects of joining UGLOH, while the other one is more academic on the professional side. So this will guide us through today's discussion. So Ace, please go ahead with the first question.
Okay, thank you. So first up, for our participants, student participants, this question is for you. How long have you been part of UGLOH, and when and why did you join? Tell us your motivations. So anyone could start.
Hi, is it working? Yeah, okay, I can hear myself. Yeah, my university, the University of Hamburg, joined the network like 1 year ago, and I was there from the beginning with the emerging local student board. I'm their head of student engagement, meaning I'm trying to organize little events to enhance the strength of the community feeling at our local student board. And yeah, how did I came to UGLOH? One day, an email arrived, basically, just with plain text. Are you interested into global health? Are you interested in participating in a European project for the collaboration of different universities? And I thought, yeah, this is the right point right now in my life. I want to be participating in those projects. I want to really have an impact out there. And so I just applied and got into the local student board. And I have to say, this was, until now, one of my best decisions, honestly.
I think I'll go next, yeah? Should I?
Yeah,
Perfect.
go ahead.
So, hello everyone. As you can see, or as you saw earlier, my name is João. I'm from the University of Porto. I've actually been with EUGLOH for quite a while. It has been 3 years since I've joined officially, but already 4 years since I started participating in some events. So I've been as well a student for a long time. So even in one of my degrees, the one that I was doing prior to the current PhD that I'm enrolled at the moment, I started participating in events. They were mostly online. It was during COVID times. And I really got to learn a lot of things that were outside the scope of my degree. And that was my main motivation at the time to start being engaged in EUGLOH. And then, much like you just said, there was also an email arriving and an invitation to be part of this local student board. At the moment, I don't think we are as structured as in Hamburg in terms of volume of people, but it's something that we are working on. Also, there's a soon-to-be recruitment process happening for us. So even though we don't have names for the roles within the local student board, we do share the responsibilities among us. And yeah, that has been my journey so far, and that was my motivation in the beginning. Happy to hear your comments as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think I'm going to go next. I've been with EUGLOH for about 1.5 years now. I joined in November of 2022, and it's been a bit different than yours. I actually wanted to go on Erasmus in my master's, and my faculty, I only speak English other than German, so there wasn't that much options for me. And I was interested in Scandinavia, but we don't have any options in Scandinavia. But one of my friends from the Students' Association, also in psychology, he did an Erasmus to Lund University. And I was like, how? How did you do that? So I asked him, and he was like, oh yeah, this is this project, EUGLOH, and they have like specific Erasmus places. So, and then I looked it up. And it was during International Week, so they had like an info session on EUGLOH. So I joined that, and then I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. This sounds like it's agreeing with my values, and I've also been with the Student Council for like 6 years now. So student engagement is also something I'm passionate about. So yeah, and then I joined. It was right before the kickoff in Munich, and yeah, now I'm here.
Hi everyone, my name is Afiqah Izzati and I'm from this university, University of Sagat, and I'm originally from Malaysia, so I'm a bachelor student. And if you ask me when did I start joining EUGLOH, I'll give you 2 answers. So the first one is like I started joining EUGLOH right at this time last year, which is around this week, to be particular is on June 16th, where I attended my first EUGLOH event in University of Paris-Saclay. And that is with the events that I've attended. I was like, okay, this event is very amazing. And for me, what is my motivation to join EUGLOH? It's like I do not want to get these experiences all alone. So after I got back from that particular event, I started searching, okay, is there any possibilities that I can join the community in Sagat itself? So that's how I found the EUGLOH student board in Sagat, and I applied. And roughly around September, October last year, which is also in 2023, I joined the EUGLOH student board. And yeah, started from when I got back from Paris-Saclay in 2023 in June. I started telling my friends, okay, let's go and take this opportunity. Like for me as an international student studying in different kind of continent in this world, very far away in this, from my home. So I was like, okay, there's nothing to lose. There's so much more to see. Like I've been here for like so far from my home, but there's still far more greater things out there. And it's better to walk together. Yeah, if you want to walk fast, we can choose to walk alone, you know. But if you want to walk far, we can walk together. So that's why I keep on telling my friends, let's go. If you're interested, of course, I'm not forcing anyone, but that's my motivation. It's like to go far together, and that's what EUGLOH is for me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm an older student from Paris-Saclay. I went back to school after a long career in the corporate world. And I discovered the UGLOH activities thanks to my professor, my course director. And I participated in a lot of activities, but at one point I wanted to get more involved and share my experiences with other students, and therefore I joined the local student board, and that's also why I'm here today. So spread the word.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your insightful, let's say, the journey I think would have been really, it's not like easy for sure, but I think like the common values and goals that I think that I could hear out from everyone is like the dedication to go further. And I believe that learning and enjoyment in university doesn't only confine on the four corners of the rooms. There's like a big community out there that you can reach out to. And I think that's having a purpose. And right now we are so lucky and blessed that we are now gathered here to let this, the other students that we have met that. Okay. And for our next question.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And you kind of know my questions in advance, because this is what I wanted to go from, that how many events you have attended, and beside the factor that you wanted to get more involved, get to know more people, go on an Erasmus, I'm also very interested in how does this influence you professionally? So can you mention, please, all the activities that you have taken part of? Or can you even highlight one that has influenced you on a professional level? And please, how? Please try and explain that. So could you, Julia, start with this one?
Okay, so I want to highlight two events I went to. One is the only actual UGLOH course I've attended so far, and that was the Tromsø Idea Camp in February of this year. And it was on health innovation, where we got together. It was just like 2 or 3 people from each university, and they brought in some lecturers from Porto as well. And we were supposed to, over the course of 3 days, create an innovation for cancer patients at the hospital of Tromsø. And we learned a lot of new design perspectives on how to approach this from a different angle. And one of like the central part of it was empathy. So we had a really long session where we actually got to talk to cancer patients or people who have recovered from cancer, and talk to them about their experiences and what they would have needed during their treatment or before or after. And it was actually pretty emotional because they were very open with us with their struggles. And yeah, based on the information we could gather from them, we built in like small groups something that would help them on their journey. And yeah, this empathy part for me was really important because I'm in psychology, but I'm probably going to go into public health or epidemiology. And I think this empathy part really highlighted that we should never forget the people behind the numbers, because in public health you work a lot with the population and not the single individual. So I think it's always good to keep that in mind, and also that qualitative work also has a value that we should not forget, because we focus a lot on quantitative data, but I think in order to help people, the qualitative experiences are really important. And yeah, the second one is I got to go to the European Student Assembly this year and represent UGLOH. And it was very different for me because usually I'm surrounded by psychologists, but this time it was a lot of different people. And I think learn to collaborate on an interdisciplinary level is really important in general, but also for public health, which is an interdisciplinary field. And I also got to see some parts of policy writing, which I think is also part of public health. So those are like the specific lessons I think I took with me from those. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also very insightful, and I think it shows that professionalism cannot be separated from emotions and whatever your heart desires to research, because this is what you're getting closest to also professionally as well. And this is what is going to take you towards the next steps to reach success. And this is what we got away, I think, from today's keynote speeches and discussions as well. So thank you so much for the insight. João, can you please continue?
Sure. Yeah. I guess I'll do the same exercise of underlining too, even though I've been to many events. As I said earlier, a lot of virtual ones and a few in-person events. But I'll talk about the 2 in-person ones. They are very much linked together. I guess the learnings can be similar or at least complementary. One of them is the entrepreneurial skills course by the Lund University. And the other one was one at University of Porto, so back home, on digital media and health literacy communication. As well. And in both of them, they were highly focused or framed around the concept of an hackathon. So the idea was to develop as well a project that would be not necessarily targeting cancer, but health in general or a public health topic. And in both of them, we had to prepare a pitch deck, and to deliver a communication of 5 minutes around the idea of what we wanted to develop. Not necessarily that the project saw a continuation after this, but what we learned in the process, from how to structure ideation to then delivering the pitch, think about the business model, how's the market working or the competition. These were things that I brought to my personal career path. Yeah, I even created a company after this, not sparking from these ideas, emphasizing that. But what I learned helped me shape the framework around the company. And yeah, it's still going now in the field of biotech. So it's still linked to healthcare. And it was very good as well to look at the other projects and to follow the path of the other people, because at the end of the day, everyone that was doing these courses shared one thing that went past just the idea of doing public health or global health or medicine. They wanted to deliver projects back to the community. They wanted to do something that would be more hands-on. I really saw the value of being in touch after I met these people and seeing their paths. And many of them are doing similar things. So either creating their own companies or join the corporate world, even coming from a medical background, and more the so-called alternative careers. And it was really good to learn this. Also, it was a very diverse cohort, and the program was at a part in both cases that was online, and then an in-person presential part where everyone got together, and it was really a culmination of all the efforts put into the projects. So yeah, those are mine.
Thank you so much, and I'm becoming more and more amazed by your answers, and I'm thinking that we are getting closer to the idea of social entrepreneurship, because what we are doing in a business life should or could be very, very helpful for the society, and what you mentioned, both examples relate to that a lot. And by the way, congratulations on the company.
Thank you.
Okay, André, could you please continue with your experiences?
Yeah, I would like to tell you about a workshop I attended in the context of the Interdisciplinary Global Health Day in Munich this March, I guess. It was a workshop given by a professor from Lund about science and health communication. I study bioinformatics, and so there's no clear connection between these topics. But science communication is really a universal topic, and honestly also a universal problem the science communication has to work on, right? Our times are shifting quite quick. The stream of information is getting quicker and quicker, and we have to work on our communication of our results, and we have to validate our results and have to explain our methods to the public, and this gets more important day after day, you know. And I have to say, after this workshop, I was better in communication, basically. Like I had some situations where I had to present my results and my methods to the public, and I thought different after this workshop, and it really helped me.
Thank you so much. And I think you also touched upon a very important topic, that as researchers, we are so focused on one very narrow research field that sometimes we forget that our audience is much bigger than the research field that we are presenting to. So sometimes you have to explain 10 years or 20 or 30 years of research in a 10-minute presentation, and that seems impossible. Even for sometimes thesis workers, it's impossible to tell us about their thesis work in 10 minutes. It's an extremely tough job. So that's why science communications is getting more and more exciting nowadays, especially with the short videos that now we are consuming, the content we are consuming online. So thank you so much for your insights regarding the experiences. So over to you, Ace.
Now it's my turn, all right? So the next part, it will be like generally about the local student board. So we're now diving into the student experiences. So I would like to ask you guys, like, what was the most memorable or best experience that you had here in UGLOH? Anyone could start. Okay, here you go.
I'm so sorry. I think the mic is having a beef on me, but it's okay. So for me, the local student board teach me one thing, that it broadens my perspective really, because the one who's there at the student board, you can learn so much from them, not only in terms of academic, but on how you handle things, on how we work on something together and to make something work, even though like if we have a problem or we have a lot of limitations. For example, we are students studying, you know, but we try to coexist together and avoid the clashes that are coming through. So for me, the most memorable experience about UGLOH student board itself, especially I would say specifically in the local student board in Sagat, is like when sometimes we are like someone have a limitation on doing some of the commitments, someone will be willingly to help. So I think that's the most important thing of having a board which you understand and unite like together. And the fun part is also you work with peoples that are very amazing from different backgrounds. Some of them are studying PhDs, some of them are masters in business administrations, in economies, and some of them are doing agriculture or doing any other related field. Like very amazing how diverse the group is, but at the end of the day we still manage to find something and make it coexist together. And we also have some fun by having parties. So for example, the Christmas parties together, it really like strengthened the bond, I would say. And I also like remember that the local student board also have like a picnic together. So yeah, it's something that you cannot buy with money, that it's something that you can only feel because of the experience. And for me, that's the most memorable one, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. You know, I can attest to that because I'm part of the local student board of Sagad. And I think it's very heartwarming to find a diverse group of people, you know, and, you know, being, let's say, an international student here in Sagad and having this celebration. I mean, I love celebration. And having that in UGLOH is definitely feel at home. And so it's a very fun experience. So how about you, Andrea?
Well, I am, as I said, I'm a master student, but I'm in a off-campus course. So I'm, and I travel for my work as well, so I'm not often on campus. But that has not prevented me from being part of the LSB and having a wonderful group of people in Paris that have accepted me and included me as a full member of the group. So and I've even remotely I have been able to contribute to the local board. So it's been quite fun. And of course the in-person meetings are great, but it's good to feel, even though I'm not always there, to still be part of the group and feel that I'm part of the group and and contribute. So that's been fun.
It's a lovely thought. Thank you so much, Andrea. And Julia?
Okay, since you both highlighted the local LSB, I want to highlight my experiences, which was all the LSBs and all of UGLOH, and it was the annual summit last year in Lund. and especially the last dinner together. And a lot of you were there, and I think it was really great. It was also very fancy. I felt important. But I think it was a really cool move to put staff and students together, because a lot of the time we are separated for dinner or like some events. But this was mixed between everyone of every level, and I think that was really cool. And then the evening just kept getting better, I think, and I felt this mirrored by a lot of the other people, where this, I forgot their name, but the Something Sisters, the live jazz band, where only 2 were sisters, but that tore the house down, and everyone was like super into it, and all students and staff just got up and danced together and kept on going this energy for the after party until we were kicked out. And I think it was really cool because it was so much fun, and it was also student and staff having fun together in a less formal setting. And this was really the event where I felt the community, the sense of community, and I felt like I've arrived with UGLOH, because I was still very new at that point. And everyone kept saying afterwards, like, why did they not do this on the first day? Like, now we have to leave tomorrow. I don't want to leave. This was so nice. And I think that's like the best compliment you can get, where afterwards no one wants to leave and wants to stay together and continue. Yeah, so that's my...
Well, I hope you could say that tomorrow, that you don't want to leave Sagat anymore, because you
Yesterday
enjoyed
was
the program.
already great. So.
Well, that's lovely to hear, you know. And just like what the keynote speeches like mentioned ago by Dr. Catalin, you know, I think we should do something that we love in order to feel belong and be part of the community. And hearing from all of you, you know, like you being part of something greater than individual self. And that's really motivating to hear coming from here now. And so I think we should always remember that there are always people, community that we could find and be part of. Yeah.
I cannot agree more with you, Ace. And with what you have just mentioned, it's lovely to hear. And I would like to touch upon the network part a little bit more, because you already mentioned that you took part in a lot of amazing events. And coincidentally, many of you have already mentioned events. How do you think these events, or participating on these events, contributed to your network and multi or intercultural understanding? You can also think on a professional level. How does this help you? How has this helped you so far? We can go any direction we want, but okay, first now let's start with André.
Yeah, I think networking is one of the biggest, if not even the biggest benefit from UGLOH for the students, basically, right? Because I would state, if you're in academics, you will find yourself in a bubble, the one or the other way. And after some period of time, this bubble will influence your way of thinking, your peers, your topics. And this can be, of course, quite effective if you're working inside this bubble, but it's also at the same time limiting yourself. Also, especially like for global health, such a broad topic. And in these events, when we all come together, the strength is really the interdisciplinary approach. We are talking with psychology students, with health medicine students, and from other faculties, and we talk with each other, we discuss, and we burst this bubble repeatedly. Like, this is the biggest benefit of UGLOH, basically. And by bursting this bubble, after some time, you get really a broader perspective on your life and on the life of others. And I think this is really, really important and really nice.
Should I follow up? Yeah.
Of course.
I'll make a quick side note. The band, I was giving it some thought. The band is the Carling Sisters, if you want to search for it. I just remembered I was thinking about it, and yeah, they're really nice. Yeah, that's my side note. Yeah, but...
Very important one.
Yeah. But to answer the question, I can only second what André said. I'll even go one step back, which is, it brought me actually even closer to my own university. And the staff from my university in the beginning, I feel like I have a very down-to-earth connection with the staff. It brought me to get to know them better. We were also holding meetings, and we were being invited for formal meetings that otherwise I don't think we would be represented there. And UGLOH gave us that opportunity. But also, and of course, I need to second the fact that we met internationally, not just students, but also staff members that were able to support us in the development of either research projects, as Andrea was saying, that's the relevance could also be there, but also career. And especially when you meet these people, staff members are also not going to be there forever. There's this concept that staff members are there and then students come and go. But staff members also come and go, and it's interesting to follow their career paths as well. And many of them come from academia, but they end up diverging also to corporates, and it really broadens the horizon for us, and it makes us think that probably that's also a good career move. And it's fine to start in academia. There's also this concept that once in academia, you'll always be doing academia, and it's good to see that's not necessarily the case, and that there's at least that opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it's such a good insight. But both of you mentioned that it's not only a network of, if you are a student, it's not only a network of students, but you will be very interconnected with academic staff members, which is also a very valuable thing, especially if you later on would like to move countries, if you would like to change institutions, which is something very modern to say so, which is something very not so unique anymore and not so frowned upon anymore. That is more something that we accept and encourage. So that's also amazing to hear. Yeah, thank you so much. And how about you, Andrea? Could you please continue?
Well, I would like to add on what João and André said. Sorry. It's just that all the universities part of UGLOH are very international. And look, we have Afiqah coming from Indonesia, Malaysia, sorry. but I have met so many people from Indonesia, Malaysia as well. But no, I want to really stress the fact Nigeria, who are studying here in Zagreb, but also. German students studying in Lund, and me, Dutch, studying in Paris. So I just want to, so it's all these melting pot of nationalities and cultures that mix together, and that you're not only bursting the bubble within your discipline, but it's culturally and internationally, and that's, I think that's what creates openness and diversity, and also inclusiveness, because you learn about others and how to embrace those differences.
And it's a beautiful way, I think, to close this question, is that yes, not only in the academic field or academic professions you could have a contact with, but you can get to know multiple cultures, multiple people. You can understand them and understand them better, so that it might help you in your future lives, right? And this is where our next question is going to go. So if we are thinking about future endeavors, what do you think? How does UGLOH, whether and if, and how does UGLOH help you with any future endeavors that you are about to have? Or how has it helped you so far, if it has happened so far? We can go once again in any direction, but Afiqah, could you please start?
Sure, I will start with this one. I've read a Chinese book 6 years ago, and I would like to quote the thing that is in the bookmark, which I really vividly remember until now, which sounds 人生不是一门考试，人生是一种成长。每个过程，每个成绩都是经历 which means that human, like what we have been going through in this life, it's never an exam. It is a growth. So every progress that we take, every achievements, every commitments that we take, whether it's aligned with our job, whether it's aligned with our career, or it's aligned with our hobby, all of them are experience. And that's actually what I get from UGLOH. I'm studying agricultural engineering in University of Sagat. But what I can say is, like, I have a passion and also hobby towards something greater or something much more different from what I'm studying also. I love agricultural engineering, but I also have love for something else, where I love public speaking, where I love learning things that is related to what's happening right now in the world. For example, like for the recent news, what is happening in the law policy, whether it's in Malaysia or whether it's in the worldwide. So yeah, joining UGLOH, for example, as one of the one that I've joined in Paris-Saclay, it's about the global village in terms of law perspective. It helps me to like view more related to what's happening in this world, related to global health, but also related to the current life of the farmers in the EU specifically, but like in general, in the agricultural field itself. And I would say what brings me, what is the endeavors of UGLOH that takes part in my life is mostly related to the connection and the bond that I've met. When I joined a program, which is a short course related to presentation, I like to learn. Like we learn things, and like learning is there's never an end for learning, especially also in presentation skills, right? When we want to deliver something to some people, we need to learn their languages. Okay, not languages, what I mean by languages is not just like literal meaning of it, but like how can they encrypt, like how can they accept, like can they understand what we're trying to talk about, right? And at that event, a professor like says something that is very simple to me via email. It's like, she said, "Thank you so much. I see your passion during the course, and it's good to see someone who's like this." And she said that in the future, if you need any recommendation letter, I will recommend you to any kind of the thing that you will apply, because you're a team worker, and I know that you will try your very best in what you're doing. So these kind of small words coming from the people who teach you, not for long term, but a short term, it really means a lot, and it brings you back, and it brings us back to the root why we're starting to, like, why we start to study. It's not only because we want to improve ourselves, but also it goes back to humanity and to our self-development. So that's from me. Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to start, and I think also very like deep thoughts and deep emotions embedded. And I have to reflect on my teaching as well, because this is what kind of feedback I also love giving to my students, is that yes, you got a 4 or a 5 or a 2 or it was a fail or a 3, doesn't matter. But as soon as I see that you have some kind of sparkle in your eye because you're excited about what you learn, the grade is something, but something extra is your motivation and your dedication towards that subject. Obviously, this sometimes results in more 5s than fails, but you know, this is part of the process, and I just wanted to reflect on that from the teacher side, that it's absolutely true, and this is also part of, I think, what you mentioned of lifelong learning concept, because we don't only learn for the degree, bachelor, master, PhD, or whatever, but we also learn, right? Or we should learn for the knowledge, or because we are excited about a subject. So thank you so much for that insight. Yeah, Julia, could you please continue next?
Well, mine is a bit less profound. I should have gone first. But for me, it's, I think, knowing who to ask for my future. Because I've had this experience also with like student association, but also in UGLOH, that there is so many opportunities and so many options, but a lot of people just don't know that they exist. And being part of this, I now know they exist, and I can look for them. And I also, kind of continuing with the previous question about networking, I know the people who might be involved in something I might be interested in, or people who could help me. And so I think UGLOH really gives me an opportunity to be aware of opportunities and to be able to reach for them and ask if I need help.
Yeah, and as we mentioned many times right now, network is one of the key parts of UGLOH as well, and also of career. If we think career-wise, sometimes I ask my students who've already finished their degrees, like, okay, how did you get your job? And majority of the times they say, well, it wasn't a job advertisement, it was through some kind of a contact. So I think network is extremely powerful weapon that you can have, and UGLOH can help you definitely with that. Yeah, thank you so much. André, could you please go ahead next?
Yeah, I would like to agree, honestly, because in the end, if you're engaging in UGLOH, you're gifted with opportunities to evolve your social skills, your soft skills. You're gifted with new friends across this continent, and this is really, really important, and that helps you in nearly every situation, because if we think about successful people, like these single, super successful people we idolize, we still think that there's this concept of a self-made woman or self-made man, but actually this is a myth. It's always a group effort to get you there where you are and where you want to go. And therefore, we now get this community via UGLOH to interact with each other and to help each other. And this is really, really nice.
Yes, once again, second you on that. And a foundation of those network and connections is probably the student board, because that's where you start when you're a student. But when you grow, maybe stay in academia, this network will always stay. And my biggest reason to be in academia is that it doesn't matter where you go, which country you go to, which university you will be at, your network will remain the same, and your people will always remain the same, doesn't matter which university you're contacting them from. So this is, I think, also a wonderful and powerful weapon. Yeah, so thank you so much. Over to you, Ace.
Okay, moving on. So I think this question will be really helpful for our viewers and participants as well. So if you could give some advice to the university students that are part of UGLOH Alliance, what would you tell them about joining the UGLOH community? So we could start off with you, João.
I was discussing this with Andrea earlier, and we came to the conclusion that it's very straightforward, the answer for this, which is apply. That's as simple as it gets. That's the most simple advice and the most straightforward one. But I would also stress the importance of diversifying the amount of either courses that you're engaged, the fields that you're working on. This is a time for us to get to know not necessarily what we like, but what we don't like. And it's only by trying to apply on different fields, different courses. It may not be economics, but it could be healthcare-related courses. And then we would know exactly what we want to do for our future, and we are more confident on the paths that we don't want to take, because we will never know what we want to do until we try it. So I would really bet on quantity at this stage. There's often the saying, again, of quality over quantity. But I think that now it's the time for quantity, and then we will talk about quality in 5 years when we tried everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. I think right now we need to mobilize the students to be part of something. And I think UGLOH community, it just started. It's not like, let's say, like Erasmus Plus or Erasmus Mundus per se, but I think having as much as we can, like motivating students to be part of UGLOH would meet the goal. I mean, it's 9 universities with one goal, and it's that to let the students be part of UGLOH, and at the same time to expand the networks, like what you have already said. All right.
And I also must emphasize that UGLOH is not cutting back on quality. So also stressing that.
Yeah, it's just keep getting better. I can attest to that. It just keep getting better. Okay, so now we could also, do you have anything to add on that, Andrea?
Again, just do it. I mean, that's... and like João said, do as much as you can. And don't be afraid, because that's how you make your choices. But also, it's not only about, being curious, but being curious not only on the subjects, but the community, and building your relationships and your network. And your network it's your best friend. And you will have, in this global world, I mean, it's a little bit too much global world, but you will have a contact almost anywhere you go, or anyone where you want to go. So it's always, great to share experiences and to build relationships with but not only students, but also academics and staff, and because you never know where they will be, and you don't know where you will be, and if you have also the experience of, UGLOH, you have a business card. Well, a business card. You have, we have this in common, so I will help you. You were in that course with me. Yes, I will help you. Oh, yeah, I remember you. So it's so important. And never lose track of that. That's my advice.
Okay, so André has something to add?
Yeah, I would like really to add that you have to understand how privileged you are if you have this opportunity laying to your feet, basically. And it would be a shame not to use it. That's it, basically.
Yeah, I very much agree. I second to that, and it's a very positive outlook that we have access to opportunities. And I remember, like you said, it's like a business card, and it just makes sense. At the same time, being part of UGLOH is a privilege and a prestige that I think everyone should let's say, maximize, because it's already there. It's serving you. You just need to take it. So like what they said, apply. And of course, we have Afiqah to add on that, right?
Yeah, I would like to second all of what the speakers have said, which is like to apply, but I will add a little bit more of what I've been doing. Okay, as much as you check your emails, check the UGLOH websites the same. If you open your email every 8 a.m., open the UGLOH website at 8 a.m. and check what is the possibilities, and what is the opportunities that were offered. So it will come back to it will contribute back to you. That's the least one, but it can also contribute to the community. Quoting the Baharudin Yusuf Habibi, what he have said, tanpa cinta kecerdasan itu berbahaya, tetapi tanpa kecerdasan cinta itu tidak cukup. So to do something that you love, it's very good, yeah. But to love something that to love something that you're doing, it's very amazing. It shows your perseverance. But to do and to love the thing that you do, you need to have knowledge. And this knowledge needs to be seek. We are the seekers in this world. We seek for something. Okay, we can choose on what we want to seek the most, yeah? We can seek to have fun. We can seek for knowledge. We can seek for friends. We can seek for everything. But for me, as what they have said, it's already on the table. You just need to grab it and take it, yeah? So the quote says that without love, the knowledge is very dangerous. But without knowledge, the love that you have is not enough. So it needs to go both ways. So yeah, that's from me.
That's definitely something to ponder on, right? But hearing all of your diverse answers, it's just like spectrum. You can just start, just apply, and then if you went there and then you just discover yourself, you can go for more. And I think, for everyone in here, I think just in UGLOH, I remember when we were having our career boot, in the university, there's a lot of high school students that are interested about UGLOH, and they're saying what is UGLOH? And of course, we will say it's 9 universities. It's about global health. But I think, what I always say to them, it's a part of community that I'm always going back to. It's like seeking people, seeking opportunities, and especially expanding your skill set. And with a lot of opportunities, with different disciplines that the UGLOH are offering, let's take it. Let's take it. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Anita?
I cannot agree more. Amazing thoughts, and thank you so much for sharing those. But we are at the success stories within UGLOH talk. So we are also very interested in how would you yourselves define success? And what do you deem your most successful UGLOH experience so far? You can think about this for a second. Whenever you're ready, we would like to ask everyone in this round. Whoever is ready first. Okay.
I think I've already touched on the success story, which would be transitioning this knowledge that I've gathered in UGLOH and UGLOH events into something that is tangible for me, and it will go along with my life, which is the company that I mentioned. So I would simply mention that, and And the definition of success, going back to that question, it's obviously something that is very personal. We don't all need to be high achievers or high aimers, and it's good to also normalize that and to be accepting that we set our own goals, and that's totally fine. And we don't need to keep comparing ourselves and our paths to our peers. There's one thing in common when we are studying in university, which is that we are having the same lectures and probably the same exams, but everything else is up to us to own.
I agree on that. Anyone would like to add?
I would define success watching your comfort zone getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like really watching your own process, your own development, and seeing, and somewhere also be confident that this is somehow the right direction, basically. And this is already huge. And I got this process, or I saw this process during my time in UGLOH, and therefore I consider myself as a UGLOH success story, basically.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You want to go? Not really, no. Okay.
I'll go. I would say it's more, for me, in my case, a more personal success. It's, you stole the whole comfort zone part from me. But as an older student, again, try to, for me, the success was to be able to be included and to be part of the younger group of students, and to not to feel that I was different. So that has been for me a great success, to be included, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, and thank you. And I think we should also normalize the fact that university learning is not age restricted. So it doesn't matter whether your age starts with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, but you can always go back to school or go to school whenever you feel that, okay, this is my time. Nowadays, we are seeing more and more people come back to academia who has been to the corporate world or any other world and saying that, okay, I've had enough. This has always been my passion, I want to do something else. And now, after a couple of years, they decided, okay, I want to do something different, or I want to pursue my dreams finally. And I think that's a wonderful thing to do at any age. So, yeah.
Yeah, so may I add also, I think coming from LSB, I think I also have a success story to share to all of you. You know, when I applied for UGLOH the first time, I was not accepted because, you know, like for some reason, like we with general, but this is my second time around. And for me, getting in is my success story. Why? Because coming from a diverse background, I think inclusivity, representation, and diversity, I really champion for this. And being part of social civic organization like UGLOH, which is not only focuses on health, but different matters, I felt like I have something to say out there. I want to represent something, and I think this is very good for everyone. And see, we have a diverse group of people here, and it's just so heartwarming that I think it's not only success individually, but that's also success of UGLOH, because it caters to different kind of people. Like what you said, it's a melting pot. And for me, in UGLOH, we matter, we belong. And that's why I'm coming up to the next question, that what do you think and what advice you can give to the students who might be hesitant to participate in UGLOH due to concerns about language barriers, cultural differences, and other challenges? You
Just
can think about it.
Very short answer. I felt like a language barrier or intercultural, what did you say? Something intercultural was never an issue, I felt like, because everyone here is like very open and super happy to learn about each other's culture and to participate. So I feel like you might be anxious about it, but you don't have to be, as much as this doesn't help you, I'm sorry, but for everything else, UGLOH might be chaotic sometimes. You all have experienced that, and it's not always easy, but as we've touched upon many times, the session is we are not alone, and the new people are also not alone. Everyone here is super happy to help everyone else, students and staff alike. So I don't think new students need to be afraid, because they can always reach out to us, and everyone here is super happy if someone reaches out to them for help. Yeah, so that's what I want to say.
So I would like to add a bit to that. So if you feel that you're very indifferent, do not be afraid of that. Like, that indifference can shine, yeah? Like, and you are the one who's gonna shape it, whether it's gonna be dim or you're gonna be shine. So in a room that is very dark, if there's at least one candle, the room will be like, the lights is very strong. So you just believe in that. Nobody's English is as perfect as the native speakers, yeah? And culture, it's a very beautiful thing. So the indifference that you have, consider it as a plus. And the UGLOH program, the UGLOH events, and the UGLOH community itself in general is a very welcoming community. So do not be hesitant. And I can guarantee 100 or even 200% that you will never regret your decision. Just apply to one and go. And you will be, what do you call it, like addicted? Like for Asian, if you eat something spicy, you wanted to eat it more, you know? So it's like if you got accepted into one UGLOH programs, you will be addicted to it. I will not explain why, you need to experience it. So you need to seek for that, yeah.
Okay, she's not giving you a spoiler, so you need to find it yourself, okay? Anyone would like to add on that?
I can add some notes, but yeah, this would be a wonderful way to round up the question. But on this, I strongly emphasize what was said. The community is very supportive. You'll get support from several layers. It could be from your local student board, from the ISB, the International Student Board, for the ones who don't know these terms, but you'll get familiar with them as soon as you join. Then there's the layers of the staff members from our own universities, from other universities. There's a lot of people that will always be there for you. You may be coming alone the first time, but you're not leaving alone. And next time you come as a group or expecting people to be there. That was my case when I came. I was already thinking, who is going to be there that I already met in the past. But the first time I came, I didn't know anyone. And that was perfectly fine. I got to know them there. The community is very supportive. And I would say that also with regards to the language barriers, the vast majority of us are also not native. And there's all levels. It's also a good opportunity for us to even improve. And I felt that over the years, because it was actually one of the first few opportunities I had to be speaking in English for an international audience. So sometimes it's about self-development and thinking about it in relative terms. No pressure. No one is looking at you as the single candle in the room. You'll be one among many.
Thank you so much for that. Very insightful. And like what you said, you know, like no one, I think, in this stage right now has English as their first like language or mother tongue. So here we are, you know, practicing what we are fear when we were young, that we won't be able to communicate, but joining, you know, like different people, talking with them, practicing, making mistakes, and learning from our mistakes. I think that's also a very good vantage point on why we should like join international community like UGLOH.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for sharing those stories and insights. But right now, we have a little bit of time to turn to the audience if you guys have any questions. And in the meantime, if we can check, there is online questions and answers. We would also love to see those as well. But please raise your hands if you have a question, and we will be able to give a mic to you. Okay, in the meantime, while you're thinking about a question, I think we can reflect on your answers in the Mensi. So we were in a roundtable discussing what was your most memorable or best experience you've ever had with UGLOH. And I see some very nice answers.
There's a lot, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of responses.
So thank you so much for participating. I love some of you are volunteering in this annual year summit. If we still have volunteers with us, thank you so much. But I also see in-person meetings, summits, conferences, meeting in person, staff week in Lund, meeting colleagues, volunteering. All these signal to me that after COVID, finally, once again, we can meet each other. Meeting people, the community, enhances our experiences in every field of life. And this was one of the conclusions of our discussion, is that this is a community that can help you in a lot of different ways, but it is also a community that you can belong to, that you can have friends with, professional networks with, and I think that kind of shows on the answers as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And you know, like there's a lot of opportunities. Like for example, they mentioned that there are 2 Nobel laureates that grace us this morning. And it's like once in a lifetime experience for sure, because it's not every day that you meet Nobel laureates. And it's a very, very interesting topic that they've talked about, like motivating people and researchers to produce despite of the barriers that we are experiencing. Now we also have here, we ask you if you could summarize your UGLO journey in one word. This is what our participants answered. All right, so you can see there's like eye-opening, professional exchanges, determination, well, and encouraging fun growth. So definitely this is something that everyone felt that they resonate with, and so far so good.
And let's take a look at the last one. So if you have any questions for the participants. So if you don't want to say it out loud, we'll just help you with that, and we will read them out. So let's go with the first one, which is rather a challenge. So what are the greatest challenges for student participation in UGLO? Which is actually a very good question. Do you guys have any answers for that?
I can get a take on this one. I think that from the side of the students, it's sometimes this lack of awareness of the opportunity and that it stands here. We have heard this already, but I think it's really important because even for us in Porto, until we got to know UGLO, we didn't know UGLO. And there's a lot of people that are in this situation that they never saw an email coming in their inbox, despite they are sent always. But it's not very popular to open the academic email, I guess, these days. But it's also the element of being able to or capable to reach the students one way or another. So if the students don't come to us on an initial stage, we may need to run after them and after myself. I'm including myself in this because it was the case for me. So it's difficult to reach out, but I think that from the moment this barrier is broken, then it gets streamlined and it's easy to be part of the community. Obviously, we all have different structures in our local student boards. That could also be a challenge, but at the end of the day, we all come together and find a way to unify our points of view and perspectives as UGLO students collectively.
All right. Anyone would like to add on that regard?
There are several, but
okay,
no.
shoot it ahead.
For me, I feel like that some students are just not interested in student engagement. That's totally fine, but it's sometimes hard to find them who are not afraid of the commitment and putting in the work. And usually it's the people who are already engaged in something else that also come. So they are really busy with a lot of things. So that's difficult for the individual, but also for the group, I feel like. Because if you have a running system, it usually keeps running well. But when you're struggling, it might get worse. And that's, some of you know already, the LMU student board is kind of struggling. So what I've been experiencing is that if people don't show up or don't communicate that they can't engage anymore, which is totally fine, it's volunteer work, but that then the workload is much bigger on the people who remain. And this causes them to become resentful or burn out. And I think that's a really big struggle because that's not what we want. It's supposed to be fun because we're not getting paid for it. So this is something I really try to avoid. And yeah, but I'm hopeful right now because we are recruiting. So coming back to the success question. So what I hope is going to be my success is getting a LSB running of LMU that is independent of me and keeps on running for quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and good luck with that, because that's we know that's something of a more challenging task, but I'm sure that you will be able to manage that and you will build an amazing LSP. Thank you so much. And we also have a question or two actually that are very interrelated. What motivates you to participate in any kind of UGLOH activities? Anyone can go ahead.
I think I can start with this one. I would always say is that is curiosity, that, okay, I want to meet new people, I want to learn new knowledge, I want to seek for something that is not in the classroom, because learning is not only what you get in the class, right? We learn something on the way, we learn something everywhere. And you know what's better is to learn and travel. So that motivates me the most to participate in the UGLOH activities, yeah.
And for me, to be honest, I would like to add and answer that question. I think what motivates me to participate in UGLOH activities is, even though like I'm traveling to, for example, Germany, and if I go there, I will meet different kind of people in walk of backgrounds, you know, like nationality. So at the same time, they brought with themselves their culture. And I know I might not have the chance to travel to their country in Africa or Asia, but at least I have a walking proof that I can learn and I can have an exchange of experiences with these people. And I think that's what motivates me. Maybe I'm too extroverted and I like learning with people, you know, and it's a very good experience, and I always look forward for that. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, thank you so much to our participants and to our viewers, and for these amazing questions and replies from our roundtable talk. And as a final question to our student participants, can you all please summarize your UGLOH journey in one word? In one word.
Discovering, I would say. Discovering.
I'll go with immersive.
Immersive.
Mine is overwhelming.
I'll keep it fun.
And for me, it's light.
How about you, Anita? What's your UGLOH one-word experience?
Today I got asked the question, like, how can I describe it in 3? But I think I'm just gonna say the first one, it's network for me.
Network. For me, I think it will be diversity. Yeah. And thank you so much, everyone, for your answer and your responses. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes, and thank you so much to you guys for being present here, and also for the audience that you bear with us today. I think it's been truly an enlightening experience. I really hope we can continue this maybe tonight as well. I'd love to hear a little bit more about you. And thank you for hopefully a lot of audience joining online, or for the listeners of maybe a future podcast out of this.
Exactly. I'm counting on that. I hope this very good opportunity. We could just set it out there and people could listen to this, a very momentous opportunity.
Absolutely. So thank you very much once again. Good afternoon,
Thank you
everyone.
too.
Thank you.